Hi, my name's Lee Kirkpatrick, and I'm an incident lead with the Sophos Rapid Response team. And today I'm going to be discussing the dangers of exposing RDP to the internet. Now, you may be wondering, is it really that bad for me to expose a server with RDP to the internet? Well, in order to find out, we did just that. We stood up a server, exposed RDP to the internet, and we left it for 15 days. When we came back, we found out that login attempts started in under 1 minute from us exposing that server to the internet with RDP. So even if you're thinking about temporarily exposing a server to the internet with RDP for someone to remote access, those brute force attempts are going to roll in pretty quickly. We also pulled out some statistics regarding the most commonly used usernames in order to try and obtain access. And unsurprisingly, administrator and variants of took the top 3 spots. Administrator actually had 866,862 failed login attempts alone. Now, that's not too surprising because most of the cases we've worked here at Sophos where RDP exposed to the internet was the initial access vector, the attacker managed to obtain access by brute forcing the administrator account. And that's because most often what we see is the organizations that expose RDP to the internet quite often have poor password policies. So it makes it quite easy for the ransomware groups to brute force their way into those accounts. Now, in total, we saw that 137,500 unique usernames were actually being attempted, so quite a diverse range of usernames. And the scanning activity was taking place from 999 unique IP addresses. And in total, we saw just over 2 million failed login attempts in 15 days. So there's still a lot of people scanning for OpenRDP. It's still a common initial access vector, and it's definitely dangerous to expose RDP to the internet. Now, you may be wondering, but what if I expose RDP on a different port to the default, which is 3389? Unfortunately, that does not matter. Scanners and ransomware groups are still going to identify that RDP is listening no matter how obscure that port is. And in order to showcase that, what we've done is a really simple search on Census for RDP not being on the default port of 3389. And as you can see highlighted here, no matter how obscure you make that port, it's still incredibly easy for these scanners and subsequently ransomware groups to identify if RDP is open on one of your servers. And as we discussed previously, it's not safe to do even temporarily. We had brute force attempts occurring in less than 1 minute from RDP being open. There are much secure methods to allow remote access to your environment, such as a VPN with MFA, for example. Now, I hope that showcases the dangers of exposing RDP to the internet. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll catch you on the next video.